Hi, Manny.
Hey, thanks for
we have our first guest with us, our inaugural guest, my friend Manny and Kate. This is my friend Manny. Manny, this is my friend Kate.
Hello, friend Manny.
I did have the opportunity to watch you for your first podcast. I missed the second one, but I will go back and watch it. Unfortunately, I subscribed but forgot to hit the bell. So if you're watching, both subscribe and hit the bell so you get the notification.
Oh, that's a good reminder that we're supposed to say things like, if
subscribe,
like this video, like, subscribe, and share, and hit the bell too so you get notifications.
That's right.
Thanks, Manny. Maybe you should manage our social media for us.
Manny the manager.
I thought that having Manny on this week would boost our views because he had a huge Twitter following, but as you know, as I said, past tense had.
Yeah, I was up to the double digits. I was up to the 20s or something like that.
But you don't have Twitter anymore, huh?
I don't. I finally decided I gave up Facebook a while ago, and I gave up Twitter now that Mr. Musk bought it out.
I wondered if it was a Musk thing.
I have no specific issues with them, except the idea that free speech and giving people a platform is the same thing. And some people just don't deserve a platform, just be honest.
So I think now's a good time to give a shout out to our sponsor, Tesla. This podcast brought to you by the good people at Tesla, including Mr. Elon Musk,
who will be giving us all a free car at the end of this podcast as thanks.
I'm gonna have to do some more research into him. I don't know why everyone dislikes him so much. I like him because he has autism, and I usually, as someone on a spectrum, someone who's neurodivergent, I just usually,
I'll just say one thing is that he has a strong proponent, especially everybody on Twitter, in Tucker Carlson.
So that, okay.
In Tucker Carlson, who is a Elon Musk fan and proponent of Elon Musk buying Twitter.
Okay, so that correlation, that relationship is what gives you pause.
I don't know who that is.
Man.
Cable news guy, I think. I don't watch cable news.
Yeah.
Neither do I.
Is he on Fox?
He pretty much took like the Bill O'Reilly slot.
Oh, was he the guy on Fox?
Yep.
See, I don't watch Fox. I have enough entertainment in my life.
I've definitely put myself on a news diet for the past year. It wasn't doing me any good, and I figured if the world was ending, one of my friends would text me and tell me. Nothing I can do about it.
I kind of figured the same thing though. Like, somebody will let me know.
I used to feel like I'd be more interesting in parties if I was well versed, and I figured I was on a smart news intake because I was only listening to NPR, and when they are paid, when they have a sponsor and they report on the sponsor, they mention it in the story, so you can like take what they say with a grain of salt. They sort of give you that we can't report too heavily on this or they might pull our funding, and I don't know. I don't really go to parties anymore, so I don't care if I have good conversation at parties, and it was making it really crazy knowing what was going on.
You go to parties?
So did you stop with
parties?
Sorry, go ahead, Manny.
Did you stop with NPR as well? You just take NPR and just add like the OAY, no party, OATY. So you change NPR to no party.
You're right. We have 3 of the letters already. I sometimes listen to, they have something on Spotify called Up First, where they just give you 15 minutes of news, and maybe once or twice a week I'll put that on if I'm feeling like the neurons need a little more stimulation. But it's always just Ukraine. It's just Ukraine and COVID, and it's like
I am the same way. I have cut all of the most of the news. I was gonna say all of the news.
Yeah.
I like Under the Desk News on TikTok. They give like just little quick bites of information so that, if I find it interesting, I can go research it myself. Like, I have something to go on to research it.
Nice.
And so And they're pretty liberal, so I like that too.
There's like nothing I can do about it though. I can't like run to Florida with my gay stick and hit everybody with it and be like, it's okay to be gay. Stop saying
gay.
Like I just like I don't know why I said gay stick. That sounds really weird, but like I'm trying to turn people gay.
I would love to be hit with a gay stick. I could use more gay in my life, honestly. I'm only a little gay. Like I'm like half gay.
Yeah, I'm on the
Give
way.
me more gay. More gay.
Every time I take the Kinsey test, I fail it. And the Kinsey test is like, why do you keep taking this test? You are so fucking straight.
That's
you're an ally. We still love you. It's okay.
I think what's funny is that
I don't understand the lack of appreciation for boobies. I mean, everyone loves boobs.
True.
I don't know that. I'll pass. What's funny is you do have a large community out there that think of being gay not as a sexuality so much, but as a polarity. You know, like when you think of two magnets that have different polarities, like if you're gay and you're straight, there's no way you guys can physically interact. And if you physically interact, you are gay. And then on the other side,
God, you're right.
And then on the other side of the house, you have the gay community that's like it's more like a plumbing, like a valve that only allows the fluid to go one way. If you're straight but you have relationships with same sex, then you are gay, and that's it. There's no way going back. You can have sex with as many women as you want. If you say you're gay and you have sex with women, you're still gay. It's only one way. So
once you're gay, and that's it.
Once you're gay, you're gay. Or if you're straight or gay, there's like no way physically you guys can come together. It's so.
When you experience the gay, why would you want to go back? I mean,
once you go gay, there's no other way.
I love it. Once you go gay, there's no other way.
You're welcome. Joyful. I'm always happy to be the straight hero of this gay conversation. I'm a big white savior too.
Same. It's something I'm trying to beat up myself.
All right.
Stop being the white hero.
I know the Ancestry thing, Rebecca. Are you all right? What percentage are you Portuguese?
It's up to like 97% last time I checked. I'm very
like 100%.
I was surprised to be, I think, about 40% Portuguese. Who knew?
Yeah. Well, my parents always said we were 100% Portuguese, except there was some Irish priest somewhere in my mom's family way back. And that was it. And then when the DNA results came back, it was like,
a priest.
Yeah, of course. But at least it was like a consensual, resulted in a pregnancy relationship, you know. So a little more like Thornbirds, I think. I never read the book or watched the miniseries, but I think there was a priest having a relationship with a woman in the Thornbirds. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Yeah, it's like they only can tell you you're like, I don't understand how my Portuguese levels can keep going up, but the other levels aren't going down. Like, how is Senegal still at 6%? Like, it adds up to more than 100% now. It doesn't make any sense.
Genetics. Like, I did the 23andMe, and like, listen, my dad's mom, my nanny, is half Sicilian, half Northern Italian. So like, I have like no Sicilian, or no, I have Sicilian, but my dad's genes came out with no Sicilian and just Northern Italian. I'm like,
so you got the Sicilian like through your dad, but he didn't get it.
Yeah,
it's like a recessive ethnicity.
Right. So I'm like, I don't understand. Like, and that's not all that's in there. I am the saltine cracker of European American. I'm like, just Europe, you know. And like, there are rumors of indigenous ancestry, but nothing showed up except like 0.08%. I'm like, that doesn't sound like a good granddad to me. That, I think there might have been a mistake.
Maybe an indigenous person gave someone in your family a blowjob.
That's probably likely. There was a blowjob involved.
That's how you get the 0.008%.
Like a whisper of a sperm.
Wait, so like Italian food, I'll be more Italian. Is that how that works?
Yes.
Oh,
Does
yeah,
it
picturing the
pizza?
blowjob the other way.
Pizza, I guess. I'm fine. Does it work, I guess.
Oh my gosh. All right. I have some announcements. It's not corrections corner. It's not comments corner. I don't have a name for this. Let's call it housekeeping. Housekeeping. I'm going to start uploading the videos on Mondays because last Friday we I said someone's name. I said someone's full name that I shouldn't have said, and it took me forever to get it bleeped out. And shout out to my brother for his awesome editing know-how, video knowledge, and technology purchases.
KatenBek's brother. Whoop,
All I
whoop.
had to do was get the video on his laptop, and then it was really easy, and he helped me get that name right out of the video. But because of that, because it took me so long to think of asking him for help, because I'm not good at asking for help, we didn't get the video uploaded till almost midnight on Friday. So I just think maybe if I take the whole weekend, I'll get it up by Monday. Shut up, Manny.
His yeah, I'm not gonna say. Just say the individual's name every few seconds just to mess with you and get your brother more involved.
Oh, you're right. And then, I mean, maybe he'll have to edit so much I'll have to start paying him. You're just thinking of him, right? His bottom line. Also, I had this, like, during the week when I think of things, I stick them in the notes section of my phone so that I remember to talk about them. But I don't know why I put this in my phone. It was the words. Well, first of all, to give credit to where I heard it from was Do You Need a Ride podcast by Karen Kilgariff and Chris someone. I don't know. Sorry, Chris. But
Edit this out.
I just
Giving credit. Good job.
No, Karen Kilgariff and Chris, whoever, they like actually have IMDb pages. Like I should know his name. They're comedians. They are really great and I love them. But I put in the word suspender bartender and I have no idea why. So just throwing it out there. You know why I wanted to tell you that.
It's the next Hamilton movie.
I mean,
yeah.
It sounds like a band name. Like it would be bluegrass. Like it would be a weird fusion of like bluegrass and rap or something.
Alexander Hamilton. I'm a suspender bartender. I am a bartender. I don't know.
Sure.
I think it's I think it would be more hipster, suspender bartender than
Suspender
it'd be like it'd be like the
it would be like big band swing with bluegrass.
Or big band swing with Midwestern emo.
Yeah, even better.
Midwestern emo.
I don't know what that is, but I support it.
Midwestern emo is the one musical genre that my 19-year-old has found that makes me want to turn the volume down when we're in the car together. And it makes me feel old. I mean, and he's listened to a lot of stuff in the car. Like in middle school, he listened to Logic. Man, I could get down with some Logic. I like that gentleman. He's great. He listens to a lot of 80s. He listens to a lot of 90s grunge. He listens to, I mean, he's got a good taste in music. But this Midwestern emo, it's the girlfriend's influence. And I love her. We've talked about Julia before. She's my favorite thing in the whole world besides my cat Leo. But
is it bad that you said Midwestern emo and I think of somebody depressed because their cheese got moldy or something? It's
well, the one band name I remember is Mom Jeans. So I mean, but it just sounds like the guy is really whiny and screaming. It's like scream whining in a lot of the songs, and like the music behind it is fine, but the guy's voice just makes me want to turn the radio off.
I feel ya. That happens.
Of adult sons, I wanted to bring up Kate. The reason I surprised you with drinks this morning is because I wanted to acknowledge the fact.
That's what I was just gonna go for. I need an appreciation corner for the beverages I received on my doorstep here in Georgia, hundreds of miles away, unexpectedly. There was a knock, and I'm in my jammies, and I'm like, "Who the heck is knocking on my door?" And like, beverages.
That's awesome.
I just wanted to celebrate the fact that you've been a mom for 18 years. That's a big milestone. That was Monday,
It is
right?
a big milestone.
Yeah, so good
Thank
job.
you. My mom anniversary was on Monday.
And this is your oldest turned 18, so you still have some momming to do.
So much every
Yeah.
morning with my autistic Sheldon Cooper child, who is 10 years old going on 85. I have learned so much about space and the periodic table of elements. So much.
It's a different conversation.
Than I ever needed to know. Yeah.
That's awesome. Maybe you should just like find a way to connect him with my brother. Except
that would be great.
Yeah. And they can just kind of nerd out together.
He would love that.
Because my brother can go on at great length about maybe not the periodic table, but definitely space and time and dimensions. And
Sam loves that.
Yeah.
I love it too, but like I'm an English major and an art major. So like, you know, I get it. It doesn't stay in there. Yeah. But like I can enjoy the informational flow, but don't ask me about it later. Like I still don't know what the formula for hydrogen is. I do remember that sodium, pure sodium is explosive when it touches water because we got some for Christmas. That was a lot of fun in the cul-de-sac for us. I don't know about the neighbors, but we had a good time. So
wow, that's
awesome. You'd be surprised what you can get on Amazon. We are so on an FBI watch list right now. That's not the only thing we got either. We got like gallium, and you know, he wanted plutonium. I'm not joking, but we decided not to even look that up. Yeah.
You know, it's funny how you can get put on watch lists so easily. My next door neighbor was just trying to be a sex positive mom and get birth control for her kid. And she was Google searching what size condoms do middle schoolers wear.
That's terrible.
So she's expecting the FBI to knock on her door any day now. Find out why she needs to know that.
Oh, bless her heart. Yeah, I would not have Googled that. I would have just gone to the store and got like 15 different kinds of condoms and be like, here, try them on and let me know.
Yeah, I think she ended up doing that. So, Kate, did you have your shit together this week? Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, I have so much shit together this week. I have so much, not as much as I'd like to have, but so much more than I expected to have. Yes.
Yeah.
I adulted hard this week.
No details other than that. You're just feeling real good about it.
I saw doctors, I made appointments, and I saw more doctors for myself. And then I started taking on some of the load of figuring out doctor stuff for my dad with my sister, who's been carrying the entire load since January. So
in person or from the other coast?
From the other coast.
Wow. Rosie's a superhero.
Yeah, and it's like as if she has nothing else to do with her life when she really has like 500 other things and her own business to run. So like, and a child, you know, like there's a lot, she's got a lot going on. I don't know how she's been carrying it this long herself, except that she is a Leo, so that counts for a lot. But yeah, she's getting tired. She says she's still doing all the things. I'm like, can I do some more stuff? Okay.
Do you want to share what's going on with your dad or?
Yeah, Dad, we're still not exactly sure what put him in the hospital. He was having a lot of trouble breathing, and it looked like COVID pneumonia. This was back in December, and he got out and decided to go back to work on stuff because that's what he does. And then he went back into the hospital, and it was bad, and he went into a coma, and he almost died 6 times. That was neat. And then
I mean, you're just gonna like brush right over that, but like you were notifying people through Facebook that your dad was dying and he had his last rites, and this was probably his last night. And I mean, it was serious.
It was serious.
I actually gave my dad a heads up and was like, "Hey, Dad, I think Mr. Tom Swartz is gonna die tonight." I mean, it was like you said goodbye to your father.
I mean, yeah. And we all flew in or drove in, and like me and Rose and Joe, and we didn't, you know, and the hospital wouldn't let anyone else in except for one family member. So that ended up being Rosie. And, you know, I would call everybody would call in and FaceTime, even though he was in a coma. So we just talk at him, and Rosie would go in and like do Reiki and massage his feet and read him Lord of the Rings, and then call me, and then I would take a turn reading him Lord of the Rings, and and like it was wild, and we didn't know if he was going to make it. We were pretty sure he wasn't going to make it, and then they brought him out, and he started doing okay-ish. He's progressed. He's breathing on his own, but being in a coma for a long time does stuff to you. It gives you PTSD. He was paralyzed. He can, and that was back in January. He can now, as of this week, he can answer the phone. He can't text yet, but he can answer the phone, and he can scratch his nose. So his big, huge carpenter hand. My dad's a big dude.
So big.
Like, he's 6'4" and has like gorilla arms. Like his fingertips brush his knees. Like he's got abnormally long arms, and he's a carpenter. Like he can palm a turkey. Yeah, not a live one, but like, I don't know if he's tried a live one, but he can palm like a frozen turkey, crane lift it out of the freezer. That's like, I've got big man hands, but my hands come up to here on my dad.
Yeah. I just remember your dad seeming like a superhero, like a real life superhero, like Thor in real life. Yeah.
Large man. And he's the oldest of 7. So he's like the big, strong guy in the whole family, not just for me and my siblings, but like for all my aunties and uncles. And so we have like this group messaging where we're talking to all the aunties and uncles, and then another group where it's just me and Rose and Mom and Joe, my brother. And it's been a journey, and it's a slow journey because Dad's almost 70, and he's, there's a lot going on, and the hospitals are kind of like, he's too weak to rehab, so we're just going to let him languish. And we're like, what? No. He was doing better when he had some rehab. They're like, yeah, but he's too weak for rehab now. I'm like,
yeah,
explain this to me before I bite you.
Your parents have worked their butts off their whole lives, right?
Yes.
Pull them up by their bootstrings kind of people.
Very much so.
Yeah, never take a handout. And now and no insurance. Like you said, your dad was a carpenter. He didn't have like a job like, me and Manny
have. Work for the government.
Right, exactly. Where, Manny and I literally work for the government and have the best health insurance in the world. We go to the doctor and they roll out the red carpet and offer us like a glass of champagne. And is there anything else we want? You want us to give you an MRI just for fun? Like you don't have to haggle for tests or advocate. Like, I don't know, maybe Manny,
I just had my first MRI yesterday. Not fun, but that's okay. But yeah, I mean, for funsies.
Yeah, but so you guys have organized a GoFundMe, and if anybody wants to contribute to that, anybody who's watching, I'll put that in the show notes this week.
Thank you. That's Rosie's work. Got to hand it all to Rosie. She's, just amazing.
And it's literally not a handout. It's just, if we had universal health care, we'd all pay a tiny bit of taxes and your dad would be fine, but we don't. So why don't we just pay a little bit to the GoFundMe?
Yeah. Please. My poor dad.
So Manny, go ahead, Kate. Sorry.
We're trying to get him the best care we can so he can recover, so he can go home, not, be transferred to a nursing home for as long as he can live after that, because he's a strong and brilliant and wise and wonderful man, and he needs to be on his feet again. Thank you for bringing it up.
He is an amazing man. And one more question about your dad, and then I want to ask Manny if he had his shit together this week. Why do I have this idea in my head that your dad doesn't have a belly button?
He doesn't. That's what
he really doesn't. How is that?
Where did you pull that up from? Yeah,
it's one of my earliest memories. My uncle didn't have a big toe, and your dad didn't have a belly button, and it fascinated the heck out of me as a small child, and I've never forgotten either fact.
So when Dad was 2, for some reason, his belly button got infected, and so did my nannies, I think. And they were my pop-pop was working for some government. My pop-pops worked for like FBI, CIA, I don't know what all. But like, so at the time they were, hauled off to a military hospital and had their belly buttons removed.
Okay, wait, they both had their belly buttons infected at the same time.
Yeah.
And you're not wearing tinfoil on your head?
I figure if there's anything in there that they really want to control, like why would they? Like,
that's insane.
I have like 815 followers on TikTok. That's not influential. So like,
okay, I don't care if anybody has their shit together anymore. Our podcast is now dedicated to figuring out what really happened to your grandmother and your father's belly button. That's all we're going to talk about.
They're collecting belly buttons for a conspiracy. Alien conspiracy. The pyramid makers. That'll be the
all right. We're really not having guests. We're just talking to each other and like leaving Manny out of the conversation. So let's ask Manny if he had it together this week.
It's all you. The Manny show.
Real quick, I think that was the premise of a teen show back in the late 2000s.
Like yeah.
Yeah, there was a teen show there. So your parents are probably aliens, but that's fine.
Oh yeah. Your nanny and your dad are aliens, or your dad's at least half alien, right? Because your grandfather has a belly button.
I accept this.
And they made up the infection story to explain the fact that he doesn't have a belly button.
Because the other 6 children that came after him are not aliens because they have belly buttons.
Manny is my platonic soulmate because he just like, well, no, because once your father was born without a belly button, then the CIA knew they had to like really, create belly buttons on the rest of the kids or whatever. By the time they realized with your dad, it was too late to do it. They did whatever in vitro thing they had to do back then, and the rest of them have belly buttons. But yeah. But this is why Manny is my platonic soulmate, because he stimulates that part of my brain that makes up all the good stories.
I'm super curious now, like, so okay, and let me not get lost into that world, because
don't get lost in the sauce.
Start getting curious.
All right, well, Manny,
you're asking
get together this week.
There are things that have happened that show that I'm growing. I think I've been needing to at least start a session with a therapist probably for years now, and today was the first time. I had a session.
Yeah.
And so you see it on TV, right? And it's always these rich people that are always seeing a therapist, and you never see poor people or people with minorities probably need it most to get therapy. So I never grew up with therapy, and obviously in a lot of cultures there's probably a connotation of negativity to it, but TV's showing that, hey, you want to succeed, you want to be cool, have a therapist. So I'm getting there, I have my therapist now. Next week, maybe I have my yacht,
So on the one hand, representation matters. On the other hand, what I'm hearing is you just do what TV tells you to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm working on a TARDIS now. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that word on TV.
Copyright.
They say TV represents real life, not our real life. I guess the real life of the writers, they come from a different mold.
Right, and so that's the thing, right? We need more representation in the writers' room.
Well, we were supposed to write a sitcom.
Oh my gosh.
We should be talking about that. I think we had
about that.
I think we had an initial scene in place to start off that occurred from Becca's real life story when she went to the doctor, and the doctor would believe that she wasn't having sexual relations at the time.
Okay, I didn't know that's what you were going to bring up. Okay, yeah.
Well, we had this whole scene. I don't know if you remember, but we were like, okay, build upon that, and that I'm gonna be your best friend. I'm going over there, and because you're going through some stuff, and I'm gonna hug you, and the doctor's gonna show up and see us hugging, not realizing that I'm gay, which would be part of the premise. And I knew it.
I knew you were having sex. I knew you were lying. You need pap smears. You need birth control.
But we never got into writing it. We talked about that premise, and
I'm so invested in this.
Yeah, it's gonna be the new and improved Will and Grace.
We need more gay on the air.
I of a problematic gay. I don't want to say problematic gay, but I I think I'm fun. I think Becca times I'm fun. But man, they make gays on TV a lot more funny than me. Like, I wish I could be like that. I want friends like that. Like, I want friends like Jack. Just Jack.
We need more representation from like the nerd gays, you know? We get some cosplay gays in there.
Well, I just really want you to watch Schitt's Creek so you can be more like Dan Levy and his character on Schitt's Creek. That is the gay that I need in my life.
We all need more Dan Levy.
I love that Kate said we need more nerd gays. But what's funny is that nerd gays are probably more nerd than gay. So you probably can distinguish nerd gays from straight nerds, you know?
I don't know.
At least the nerd gays wouldn't be hitting on the girls. I love nerds. I'm a big fan of nerds, and most of the guys that I've dated or been in relationships with have been nerds. So I don't want to like limit my dating pool by being mean to the nerds, but they have this way. They don't pick up on rejection clues. You have to be. It's like Old Yeller. You have to throw rocks at them to get them to stop hitting on you.
You know, but see, the hitting on you part is different. But this whole part of not really understanding women, I mean, that's nerd and straight gays have that in common, you know? I mean,
very true.
The one thing that
I don't really understand women. They're terrifying. I don't want to ask them out, but I'm terrified.
The one thing that nerd gays understand, though, is, you know, the straight women's attraction to men. So,
okay, fair enough. All right.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember the last time we went out to DC. What has happened and can happen? We hung out more physically in a non-COVID world. Is that we'll both look at the same person and be like, oh.
Yeah. When I was in New York City, there were so many gay men, so many. And I mean, I haven't been to New York City in 9 years, but I don't ever remember seeing, I mean, I guess 9 years is a long time. So maybe there were just as many gay men, but they weren't as outwardly gay as they are now. Maybe they feel more comfortable, but I was like, man, this has become the gay mecca of the world. Like, I gotta tell Manny, you gotta get to New York City. They're everywhere and they're gorgeous and they're holding hands and they're pushing their dogs in strollers, and I never want to come home. Join me in New York City.
That's oh wow.
So see where the gays are. I wanna see them dancing.
Walking along, pushing dogs and strollers down the street.
That's great. Yeah, so that's one thing a lot of gays have in common, that movie. We love that movie.
The Little Mermaid?
You're not supposed to say it. Sorry, now you gotta pay Disney.
Oh.
But yeah. Yeah.
Y'all should try just being bisexual. Then you have the best of both worlds, really.
I wish it was a thing I could try. That's how I know it's not a choice, because
Aw, poor Becca.
if I could, I would.
I got this. I don't play D&D, but I got distracted because I saw the D&D dice in your hand, and that's that nerd part of me that kind of overpowers the hey, D&D.
Well, I'm DMing a campaign, so if you ever want to join, let me know.
Do you know that me and my partner went through this whole effort? We bought books, we figured out characters, I created a halfling bard and all this stuff. We just never
course you did.
Of course I did. Right.
A halfling bard. Of course you did.
I wanted to be fabulous, you know.
That is the way. Have you seen the show Vox Machina?
I have not.
Okay, just quick side. I promise. Quick side note. Have you? Okay, so there's Critical Role. I don't know if you've seen Critical Role on YouTube.
No.
Okay, it's a group of voice actors who got together and played D&D, and they filmed it. And I think they're on like their 7th season or whatever. And their first season was The Legend of Vox Machina, and one of the players plays a halfling bard who as bards do, are fabulous. Fuck everything inside, just everything. And his name is Scanlan, and he's wonderful. And they turned that first season into a cartoon that was just released on Netflix, I think. And it's not for children. Okay?
It's on my list.
You won't see cartoon dick, but just close though.
Find that.
Fuck is said a lot of fuck. So like, enjoy. Don't have nieces, nephews, children with you. That is all. Carry on.
All right. Well, make sure you send me. This is your only homework, but make sure you send me information about that to put in the show notes in case anybody else wants to watch it with us. Okay.
So I think the phrase you're supposed to say is not put it in the show notes, but I'm supposed to say like, we'll put it down in the links below. Like that's what they keep saying.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I don't know. I just listen to podcasts. I don't watch YouTube videos, so I'm kind of a hypocrite, like putting my shit out on YouTube instead of podcasting it. But that's something my brother's going to help me with. He's going to turn these MP4s into MP3s, and I Googled how to upload to Spotify, and you have to use this platform. See, podcasting is multi-platform. You need like a recording platform, you need like an editing platform, you need a hosting platform, and then you get to Spotify and iTunes, and that's a lot. That's just a lot.
Work.
Yeah. But it is, we're thinking about it because I just think an hour is too long to stare at a screen. My brother says no, but also he was recently diagnosed with autism. So for him, it's not that long to stare at a screen if it's something he's interested in. But as an ADHD person, I need it in my ears while I do other stuff. I'm not just going to sit and watch people talk. That is so boring. That is called school.
I do that.
That's called school.
I follow this guy Knox who did a whole. He's a rapper. He's a white rapper, and he did this whole analysis on his first time listening, not watching, but listening to Hamilton, and did an analysis of it. And he did 3 segments of 3 hours each.
Wow.
3 portions of it, and I was enthralled. I watched the whole thing, and then he did another 3-hour video of his reaction to watching it. And so I spent 12 hours of my life watching somebody listen to Hamilton.
Okay, question. Did you watch it on the big TV while playing games on your tablet, or did you just sit there and look at your tablet for 12 hours and not move?
I sat there and looked at my tablet for 12 hours.
Wow.
What kind of superpowers do you have?
Oh, this guy, it was so he's both a musician and he's into history, so you get both analysis on the music, analysis of the history. So yeah, I'm a nerd.
I mean, I'm a nerd too, but I'm a nerd that needs to crochet or cut the grass or I don't know, do something else.
Or dice and have something to sketch with.
Yes.
You know,
and have a whole lot of beverages.
I do. It's terrible. Like when we do watch shows on TV or movies or whatever, that is what I'm doing. I'm there with my tablet. Sometimes just texting somebody back on my phone while I'm looking at videos on my tablet as we're watching a movie on TV.
See, yeah, that's the thing is like, and when we talk, I don't care if you're staring at your tablet playing a game, and you don't care if I'm crocheting or texting on my phone. We know, like, that's what we do to pay attention. We have to do more than one thing to pay attention to the voice that we're listening to.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think what it is that this is happening already in the video, right? We've got music, we've got an analysis, and we've got comments. So I've got things that I'm looking at. I'm distracted, you know, I'm able to swap.
Okay, maybe I need to give this a shot. I have to see. I don't know. Maybe you just aren't as ADHD as I am. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna miss my shot or whatever the song is. Yeah. Hashtag still haven't finished Hamilton. Hashtag don't at me, bro.
Away my shot. Say I'm not throwing away my shot.
Yeah, I don't know.
There you go. I never finished watching it. I just got bored.
I love Lin-Manuel Miranda. I have loved him on that like 3-episode arc of House, when House was in the insane asylum and he was like the rapper guy in there. Oh my god, I love him.
First exposure of Lin-Manuel Miranda, and then after that, I was watching PBS as a 20-year-old do, and seen a video of him in the Heights, a portion of him. And I didn't know that he wrote it at that time. I'm just like, oh wow, that's the guy that was on House. And then after after he got big in Hamilton and all the history came out, I'm just like, holy crap.
Yeah.
So he's a Puerto Rican like me, who's I think a year older than me, and this is what he's done with my life. So I love watching him so that I can hate myself. You know. Nuts.
All right. Well, I just want to hear more about that. So real quick, I felt like I did not have my shit together this week. Not that anyone's asking, Kate. No, just kidding. I didn't even give you a pregnant pause. I know.
You have no patience. I'm a Taurus. You have to wait for me to get in gear. Beth, do you have your shit together this week? Please tell us.
I really didn't.
Really
didn't. Would you like to share with the class what I texted you the other night when I was in Michael's and I could smell myself and I was like, Kate, I have not showered in so long. I literally, not metaphorically, literally smell like a homeless person and I'm in public. And I was like, this hair was flat on my head, French braided because it was so greasy. There was no curl, there was no volume, nothing. Like, I mean, it looked like I had hair thinner than yours is how dirty my hair was. And,
Portuguese hair with no lift?
None. Becca. Zero. That's how I mean, like, I don't even know how long I went without showers this week, but I did go home that night and take a shower. Didn't wash my hair because it was bedtime and you can't sleep on wet hair when it's like this. Or if you can, tell me your secret, but I've never found a way to do it, even the ones I've looked up online. And so I showered this morning again too. So I've made up for it. I think I showered 3 times since that text. So like 3 times in 2.5 days. So I think we're doing better.
You must have washed your hair between now and then because it's looking perfection. So it clearly wasn't recently that you did it. This is like day 2 or day 3.
No. I washed it this morning. I did.
Oh,
I did. But it was a co-wash day. It wasn't a shampoo day. I used conditioner in place of shampoo, and that's part of the curly girl method. It gives you better curls without having to go days.
Your routine has changed since high school. You had this whole thing.
Oh yeah.
I remember vibrantly.
Yeah, well, we didn't have as much to work with. All I had was mousse and gel in high school, but that was when I learned to stop brushing my hair and start scrunching. But now we have coconut oil and shea butter for everyone. And part of the curly girl method is using way more than you think you need because my hair is a sponge and it just ingests the product. So when they say use a dime size amount, no, I use a tennis ball amount. Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know if it's measured by how many showers you take a week for the length of time that you spend in the shower. But if you compare the two, if you take the week, I'm good. I might not be at a shower every day anymore, but when I go in there, I'm hanging out there for an hour. And on the weekends, I go further. I'll start with the shower, I'll end up with the bath, and I'll fall asleep.
That's kind of like when I was a kid and I had I had really bad oral hygiene habits. And then the 2 days leading up to a dental appointment, I would brush my teeth 100 times a day for 5 minutes at a time, like it would make up for it. Now I do it with night cream. Once a week I remember to put on night cream and I put on a week's worth of night cream and I'm just patting it in. This will make up for all the wrinkles I didn't prevent over the other 5 days this week. Yeah. All right. So enough about our weeks. We asked Manny here today so that we could talk to him about what our show is basically about, which is when you were a kid, what did your parents instill in you as the definition of having your shit together? And do you think you've achieved that in your adult life? And has your idea of keeping your shit together remained the same as what your parents brought you up to believe, or has it changed? So over to you, Manny.
Definitely has changed. Definitely not the same. So I was raised in a Latino neighborhood, poor area of Chicago. My dad more so he, for him having his shit together is, knowing how to get to the welfare line and sign up for welfare and get your check when you're that age. I remember his brothers, when they got that age, he's like, hey, let me take you. I'll show you what you need to do. with that said, he did end up going to college while I was younger, and ended up having his own business. And then my mom, like super religious at the time, Pentecostal. So what does having my shit together mean? Means that I'd be very religious and praying all the time. And it's interesting. It's interesting how, at least for what I grew up in, the Pentecostal culture, the Christianity culture, that I grew up with, how the idea of Christianity is similar to that of Lord of the Rings, right? It's
I'm
really
listening now.
there's this like
Lord of the
value on having like certain powers that are given to you by God. Like there was, I hope my mother never watches this, but there's this like having dreams means that you have psychic powers on things that are going to happen in the future, and then the evil enemy are the demons.
Hold on 1 second. I did something with the Wi-Fi. You were breaking up, and I was worried it was my Wi-Fi, so I went to check my Wi-Fi and I accidentally disconnected it. But it looks like you're back. Let's see if it's better now. But you were talking about how the Pentecostal church beliefs were like having the special powers that the people in the Lord of the Rings had.
That's right. I don't know where I left it, but yeah, I was saying when I grew up, like having dreams, like that was psychic powers. Like you can tell the future, you can figure things out from people through dreams, and then like sorcerers fighting. I can't think of that large, the Balrog, like
Balrog.
fighting Balrog. That's what it is. You're fighting an enemy, and you have to say special chants, just like sorcerers do, to create some sort of magic to repel the enemy. And that was the value. That was what I grew up in. It was a lot of that. There was a lot of spirituality, a lot of chanting, a lot of that when I was growing up in church.
I never thought of it that way before, but yeah, I mean, it's like what I was saying to Kate, I think in last week's episode or our first episode about like when we were talking about tarot, knowing that both of our moms are probably like, oh, the demon has our daughter, it doesn't seem that different than like prophecies and speaking in tongues and all that stuff that they did.
Yes, speaking in tongues, you have to know how to daughter. Oh, yeah. We're going after the demon. Just like you just say the right words, the right chants,
Yeah.
The
power of three will set us free. The power of three will set us free. Wait, that's Charmed. That's not the Catholic Church and the Holy Trinity.
Well, I was gonna say it's a whole genre on TV. You have a bunch of these shows where it's about a priest, The Exorcist or something.
Mm-hmm.
We just watched another one recently, but yeah, that was the value growing up. For outside of that, it was like just graduate high school, and I don't know, like they never really followed up on whether I was doing homework or they were happy to see that my grades weren't as bad as my brothers and sisters, so I was good there. So yeah, I started figuring myself out after the fact, after I left home, and it took some time, obviously. My values is definitely different. That what this idea of what it takes to have my shit together, definitely different. So I don't know if I got all the questions. I think you also asked like, what does it mean for me now to have your shit together?
Yeah, what does that look like for you today? How do you define that today?
That's a great question because I think I'm still trying to figure that out.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, it's there was a time that it was like I had gotten out of the military, I English major as well. So it was oh man, I need to get my shit together and get myself a job that has insurance and that I can have a career. And so I've been in the FA now for 12 years, and I'm just like, do I really have my shit together? Am I having fun in my job? Like, yeah, I do my job. I can't say I probably work to fund the things I like to do versus liking to do the thing I'm working at. So I think I'm part of that is figuring that out, figuring out what is it that I find happiness in. And I'm moving away from thinking that it has to be this idea of having a good paying job. And hopefully I can work through some of this with my therapist. I'll figure it out.
That's what they're for.
Well, I mean, I think you really skated over a lot of parts of your story, just a little bit. Did you join the military out of some great sense of patriotism, or to pay for college, or to learn a skill, or why did you join the military?
So I was a very sheltered person, very sheltered. Growing up, I said, so I was born and raised in Latino poor area, but I couldn't really partake with the community that I was part of. My mom would keep us inside, or I would be bused to a predominantly white middle class school where I didn't connect with anybody there. So here I'm not connecting with anybody that culturally I'm similar to, nor the people that I'm in school with. And I'm being sent to a church that at a certain age, I realized, wow, these people don't like a part of who I am. And I hate that part of who I am. And so I was very sheltered, and it got to a point where I'm just like, I want to experience something different. And it was, of all things, it was a magazine that had one of those ads for the Air Force, and they were doing something on a helicopter that I was flying, and I'm like, I want to do something different, and so that's how it started. And so I did the first step. I had AOL. It was 1998. We had AOL, had dial-up internet, and I put in my information to get more info. No, I didn't do that part. That's right. Let me back up. I told my parents, like, what do you guys think if I went to the Air Force? And then they like, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. And I didn't do anything else. So this had to be like in October, November. I did nothing else. Then my grandparents came to visit in December. I did not touch, talk, did nothing with the military at all at that point. And my mom tells them, "Oh, yeah, you don't be going to the Air Force?" I said, "What?
What? What now? I'm doing what now?"
Wait, I only talked to you guys like 2 months ago about that, and we haven't talked about it again. And so that day, I'm just like, I should at least try to get some information about it. So then I went on AOL and dial-up, and I said, let me get some information. So that was on a Saturday. And it was during winter break. We were already broken from school. People just, hey, we'll see you after the holidays.
Winter break of senior year of high school?
Yes, in senior year. In that winter break, that Saturday, asked for information. That Thursday, got a call from the recruiter, met him on the Saturday. The week after, I took my ASVAB test and I signed up for the Air Force.
Holy
shit. I came back to school. They're like, what'd you do for the winter? I said, I joined the Air Force. And they're like, ha. And me, I wasn't thinking of it as something like a big deal. I don't know what my brain was thinking. I was just like, yeah, it's what I did this weekend. It was nothing. And people were like, that's huge. And I'm just like, what? Joining the Air Force? I don't know what I was doing. But
bless.
I think it's called impulsivity.
Yeah.
Having ideas, like we have a lot of ideas and we speak them out loud and we don't think it's a big deal. It's just an idea. And then somebody's like, oh yeah, you said that thing, you wrote it in stone, you're gonna do it now. And you're like, yeah, okay, I guess I am.
Yeah. And at that point, I was 17. I signed up, I was still 17. So I was again still at that point really figuring myself out. And I don't think I had the self-confidence at that time to question myself or question what other people thought of myself, what I was going to do. So that's how I joined the Air Force. I did six years in there. It was good. I had a good time. I was flying aircraft mechanic. I flew on the aircraft as we went around, but yeah. Again, something that like for me it's just like it is what it is, you know.
Were you in the Air Force during Don't Ask, Don't Tell?
I was, and I didn't ask and I didn't tell, and I was in the Air Force from 17 to 23, going on 24. Grew up in church.
Years.
What's that?
Those are your formative years.
Yeah. It that is one of the stuff that stays with me. So the great thing about this time is, and you see it on social media, and you see it on TikTok, is you see how youth there are, and I know there's still others that have trouble depending on the family they're in, but you have a lot of youth that are able to develop themselves in a romantic way, the way traditional male and female relationships develop, but in a gay relationship. And I find joy in seeing that they have the opportunity to do that, but I do often, think back to my life and my experience with the sense of loss from even when I left the military at 23. I went back home, and I was still involved in church, and I didn't really start being honest with myself and coming to church myself and pursuing my honest and authentic life until I was 29.
That's one of the reasons I'm so upset with, like, our local school board just banned pride flags in the schools.
What?
Well, they banned everything but the American flag and the Maryland state flag, but it's because the concerned parents of Carroll County wanted pride flags banned, and that was the way that they found to do it. There's this whole move that schools shouldn't teach politics. Nothing in schools should be political. So, like, I guess they're just going to teach 2 + 2 = 4 now, because even science is political these days. Like, I don't understand it. Yeah. But this is the thing, right? This is my point. Is like, being gay is like being right-handed. It's scientifically proven. Get over it. Right. You are misinterpreting God's word if you point to the Bible verses, and there are plenty of other Bible verses that don't apply to modern day life anymore, and or we'd all be stoned to death for our crimes and our sins. So you need to stop hitting gay people with your Bibles. Jesus Christ was not okay with that. I'm not a Christian, but I do know Jesus Christ in and out and upside down and backwards, and I had so much Jesus in my childhood. You cannot weaponize Jesus against me. Jesus. No Jesus. And his teachings were judge not lest ye be judged, and love your neighbor as yourself. And maybe these people just really hate themselves, and that's why they hate gay people. I'm sorry, I'm on a soapbox, but you know me. I just think it's important that people be allowed to be themselves and be comfortable in their own skins. One of the biggest problems in life is fear. Fear breeds hate, and it's one of the reasons things end up a mess. And if people can just be themselves, like you were saying, you see young people today on social media being themselves, and that's such a healthier way to be. Being gay is not perverted. It's like being right-handed. Get over it. The end. Love, Becca.
There's something to be said just generally of being able to be authentic, your authentic self. And Ray and I, my partner, and we were talking about it, and how our lives, from the time growing up in a religious family to being in the military, that if we documented our lives, the title of our biography would be Inauthentically Me. That's what I lived a lot of my life, and even to this day, it's hard to even figure out who am I authentically. But the one thing that's honest about me is that no matter where you come from, no matter what your background is, whether you're conservative, whether you're liberal, no matter how you grow up, I still see that there is value in people. People are what they were surrounded by, what they grew up, what they were developed into. But that doesn't dismiss who they are at the core. And I just want goodness all around. Just be good to them. Let's perpetuate that.
Yeah, great. I think that's how you define keeping your shit together then. or getting your shit together rather, is being your authentic self and allowing those around you to be their authentic self. Yeah.
Word. Good wrap up.
Yeah. So one more reminder to like, subscribe, and share. And
Like, subscribe, and share.
hit that bell button.
For info, link below. Unless we put it up here.
Maybe I put it over there, or maybe it's in the corner.
Wherever you get. Hit
I
it,
just
girl.
want to thank Manny for joining us today to talk about
Our
getting
shit show.
shit together. Yeah, our shit show. This is our shit show. Oh my God. New title. Changing the title. KatenBek's shit show.
Shit show, Manny.
That's a much better opening as welcome to our shit show.
Seriously though, I really appreciate your vulnerability, and I really appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you for inviting me. It's been great. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, until next week, keep your shit together.
Keep your shit together.
Bye.